Cher $50 million Malibu Mansion Tour. Cher is a songster and actress who has spent nearly 6 decades of her life involved in music and entertainment, starting off performing with her partner hubby, Sonny Bono. In The Wild Boy Chick and Cher's Now Just a Distant Memory, she'd go on to have an explosive solo career that lasted for times and times to come. Often appertained to as the goddess of pop, Cher has vended 100 million records to date. Aside from her work in music, Cher has also starred in a sprinkle of films. Among her numerous awards and accomplishments, she's earned both a Grammy and an Academy Award. With Cher's long-running uber-successful career, she's amassed net worth about $360 million or more. And it seems that she's used her fortune to buy and sell some of the most lavish homes you could imagine. One of Cher's first mansions she possessed with Sonny back in the 70s was the Owlwood Estate. Erected in 1936 and located in Honey Hills, which was formerly upon a time the largest private estate in LA, but she'd go on to buy more gorgeous palaces hard as well. These days, Cher's Malibu estate spans 130 square feet on a high barranca overlooking the Pacific Ocean. So now, we are going to check out many of Cher's most emotional homes over the times, from the famous Owlwood estate to her current Malibu mansion and more. Now let's get into this video. So let's start with the Owlwood Estate. Once known as the largest private estate in all of Los Angeles. Located in Home by Hills, an exclusive neighborhood near Evening Street that was also home to the Glutton Mansion. Cher and ex-husband Sonny bought the property for $1,000 in the 1970s, which would be about $4 million today. This home was designed by architects Robert D. Farquhar and erected in 1936. Fanny and Cher supposedly had their eye on the Owlwood estate from the launch, but bought a near house before they could get their hands on this one. The mansion spans over 120 square feet, with 9 beds and 10 cataracts, all on 10 acres of manicured grounds. There are features like a tennis court and an Olympic-sized pool with pool house. And over the decades, the property grew to its current size. Now it's intimately observed on its own gated street facing the Los Angeles Country Club. It was erected in an Italian Belle Epoque style, which you'll come to see that Cher is an addict of. And there was a classic wood-paneled entryway with soaring ceilings and a spiral staircase leading to the upper level. The mansion had crystal-clear chandeliers, bounded ceilings, and wood moldings throughout, as well as an elevator. Many of the public apartments had marble fireplaces, including the formal dining room, the office and the master suite. There is also a grand living room with solid oak paneling and a ton of space to entertain. While much of the original details were kept in the main mansion, apartments like the master suite were streamlined and repaired up. Now, that bedroom has a massive dressing room and even its Enjoy Chesterfield, all with a classic white theme. There are amazing auditoriums throughout the entire property, cradles, a guard palace, and further than one guesthouse. By the aesthetics of it, Cher possessed this home until she and Sonny disassociated, which was not long after they bought the place, ending with Cher keeping the property and dealing it a couple of times later. In more recent times, the celebrated Owlwood estate last appeared on the request for a shocking $65 million. Now let's take a look at another former Cher property. In 2013, it sounded the star was doing relatively a bit of buying and selling, which included copping this 2-story charming instructor estate for $21 million. Owned by Ed O'Neill of Modern Family, this house was located in the upmarket Beverly Hills Post Office neighborhood, which is a celebrity favorite. It was bruited that Cher bought the property for her son Elijah, but it also could have been a more modest option for her to stay when she's not in Malibu. More lately, in 2019, she vended an isolated home for close to the same price she paid, just at a small loss. Inside the cabin, Lake residents spent nearly 3,100 space. Decorated, eclectically, but veritably cool, the house was located just above Cold Water Canyon behind gates at the bottom of a hillside on a quiet street. The slip-up featured house offered up 4 bedrooms, one of which was converted into a den office with wet bar and 3 bathrooms. There were raised ceilings for acclaimed hardwood flooring and French doors throughout the home, which led out to the wraparound terrace. Living and dining apartments flowed together, and the combined space participated a sculpted wood fireplace. While the eating kitchen was not veritably commodious, at least not by celebrity norms, it was swamped with natural light and offered top-of-the-line Viking appliances. There were also erected in feed seats tucked into a twisted wall of windows. The giant master suite boasted 2 fireplaces, wood-beam ceilings, a commodious sitting area, and amazing views of the flume, while that attached bath was fully refashioned with a skylight outgun double shower and separate tub. Not to mention the walk-in closet was renovated, too, complete with his and her size and a center island outside. The grounds of Cher's former parcels spent over an acre full of verdure and nature, as well as a gorgeous waterfall with koi ponds and indeed a contemplation area. Finally, let's check out Cher's current home, where she's lived for numerous years. Despite hopping each over the globe and living in London, buying parcels in Hawaii and Florida and further, Cher always sounded to return to Malibu. She has said in the history that she loved the oceanside community as well as living right on the water. The star bought this piece of real estate way back in the early 90s for $15 million, and over the times, she's created an Italian Renaissance-style mansion on the domain, perfect for a queen like her. It's said she set up alleviation on her numerous vacations to Venice, as well as the notorious home of Gianni Versace, and hired her developer friend Ron Wilson to help bring her sanctuary to life. Cher's Malibu Palace is positioned on a high bluff above the Pacific Ocean, creating amazing views of the water from nearly every room. When showing off her home in 2002 for Architectural Digest, Cher said, "Every day when I wake up and look out my bedroom window, I am no way not amazed. Every room has 2 views of the ocean, each of which is so beautiful. The water is always glistering, the evening always happening. My house is so special because it's my sanctuary, my fortress, really the only place I've any privacy. There is no place differently that I would rather be." Her manstays is 160 space, over 3 floors, and is full of precisely handcrafted details, like hand-carved marble, limestone fireplaces from Mexico, and even a covered yard with marble bends specifically made for Cher's home by an artisan. He indeed lived at the house for 2 times, which is how long it took to make them. There are 6 beds and 7 baths throughout the sprawling custom home, and Cher made sure that she allowed of everything. The entrance is, of course, reopened, and there's a private driveway and commodious yard before you reach the front of the home. The foyer looks antique and Gothic, and I absolutely love it here. There is a late 19th century oil of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, as well as other Gothic revival touches. While the walls and bottoms are stone throughout the manse, you will find a plenty of the same design, including antique tapestries, Gothic chandeliers and other major European details. However, there are still all the ultra-modern amenities you would expect, similar as a home spa and a movie theater. The emotional dining room has citation chandeliers and a stamped bobby ceiling with a table dressed in silk. Then in the living room, there is more velvet and silk with a giant stone mantelpiece from Mexico and limestone floors. Cher also says the kitchen is her least favorite room in any home, but she still wanted this one to look beautiful and decided to use Brazilian granite with opal in this room. Her master suite was one of the first things that her and Wilson designed, and while it's a beautiful space, the star wanted it to be functional. There are gravestone bottoms with hand-woven rug sand elevated bed, as well as Chesterfield furniture to kick back and relax outside. Cher wanted to recreate a specific Florida vibe for the property, so she designed a lot of it herself. Wilson said she was completely involved with the geography design, which is unbelievable. She's veritably gifted. There are several quadrangles, some covered and some not, as well as other tropical verdure and wind tree like those set up in the Sun State. The reverse of the house overlooks the sleek, perpetuity-edged pool, which appears to overflow into the Pacific Ocean. Other amenities on the 1.72-acre property include a tennis court and separate guest house. In 2009, Cher listed her mega manse for $45 million, but also removed it some months laterally, renovating, and also relisting it for $4 million less. While you may be wondering who bought her custom Malibu mansion, and there were rumors that Jay-Z and Beyoncé did, in the end, she no way parted with it. Cher did not end up dealing the place, and according to records, she still lives in her oceanside palace to this day. Alright, so now we have taken a look at some of the fabulous Cher's homes. That was all about Cher's luxurious properties. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified as soon as we upload a video, and also comment down your views on which one is your favorite properties. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in next one.